we hold these events, and first, the only thing I do is thank the sponsors. So I understand what money means to an event, so I definitely want to thank the sponsors. And of course, I want to thank Sam, and I want to thank Bria Miller. I also want to congratulate Eleanor. I never knew she had her last name. I went, and Sam was like, who knew? I'm so happy to know you have a last name. Bishop Greaves, I'm so pleased to be honored with you too. I know Sam's feeling for the Catholic Church. And of course, I have to say just a few things about Sam. I'll try to be short, but I just have to tell you what kind of man this is. The first time I met him, I was young and he was old. And I don't know what happened, but I caught up, and he's still old, but I'm old too. But we went to lunch, and we're having lunch, and I said to him, I'm trying to make conversation, and I said to him, which was true, I said, Sam, you're one of my heroes. And he said, tell me more. And I said, well, Sam, look what you've done in business. You're just a phenomenal record in business. And then what you've done for the community, tell me more. And then all of a sudden he put up his hand and he said to me, this is a true story. He said, Lute, I'm no angel. I didn't ask him to be an angel. He was my hero. And he said to me, I want you to know I'm no angel. And he wouldn't let me say anything more at lunch. He just wanted to remind me that he wasn't an angel. So I left there and I said to myself, well, he didn't answer the question, what is Sam Miller? And I learned in the next 10 years what Sam Miller was, and everyone in the room knows it. But Sam is one of the world's greatest lovers. He is one of the world's greatest lovers. There is no one in the world that loves to help people more than Sam Miller. When the recession hit, I was actually in his office one day. He was getting 25 to 50 letters a day from people who were asking Sam Miller for help. They weren't writing a foundation. They weren't writing some large organization. They were writing to a man called Sam Miller. Now the problem with Sam is generosity can get the best of it. First time we wanted to write a story about Sam Miller, I sent over a woman to do the story. Came back, I saw her in the hall, I said to her, how'd the story go with Sam Miller? Oh, what a man. He is the most wonderful man in the whole world. I said, well, what do you mean he's the most wonderful man? He's going to send my daughter to Catholic high school and pay for the whole thing. I said, wait a minute. We're journalism. We're supposed to have integrity. We have standards. So I said, I'm going to have to take you off the story. I said, I'm sorry you go to another story, but I'm taking you off the story. So she went down the hall, I went down the hall, I went to my office. 15 minutes later, I called Sam. Sam, this is Lute. Hey, how you doing? We had to take that woman off the story for a problem we had, but anyhow, I'm going to do the story. Great. When are you coming over? I'm coming over tomorrow. Great. Sam, by the way, I got a son that wants to go to Harvard. I accept this award because of the person who is giving this award. And this award, no matter what I can say, honors the person that's giving it as much or more than the person who's receiving it. And so, Sam, because of that, I thank you very much for this award. Now, it wouldn't be fair for me. The literature that's put out on me is I'm a cheerleader. If I were at a journalism conference, that would not be a compliment. cities have problems, regions have problems. But you know what? If you love your city and you love your region, you find a way to solve the problems. Cleveland Magazine was always about enjoying and letting our readers enjoy what was here in Cleveland and Northeast Ohio. And it was also about bringing up problems, discussing problems. But we knew one thing. It wasn't the problem that mattered. It was the solution. Because we live here. This is our home. So anyhow, I just have one thing to say, and I'm so happy as I walked in the door this morning, there was Albert Bradford. I said, "Hi, Albert." He said, "Hi, Lou." He said, "What do you think's going on in Cleveland?" I said, "Well, I'm glad you asked." He knows a lot more than I do about what's going on in Cleveland. But I heard something that I've been thinking about the last month or two, and I heard it from a person 2 weeks ago. And it was a conference, it was a luncheon, it was a seminar, panel discussion, and Dr. Cosgrove from the Cleveland Clinic said that he saw another renaissance taking shape in Cleveland, Ohio. And I heard that, I almost jumped out of my chair. Here he was upstairs, and I said, on this stage, and I said, "That's what I feel too." You know, we had this fantastic renaissance that started, I call it 1976 to 1996, and it was amazing what happened in Cleveland, Ohio. Coming from being a national joke to boom, 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 the Great Lakes Science Center, Jacobs Field, Cleveland Orchestra being named the best orchestra, every key bank being built, just one right after the other. In fact, we are a case study at Harvard about the renaissance of the city. In fact, I've never seen a better story, a more important story about a city coming back than Cleveland, Ohio. So what's happened lately? Since 1996, you hear people say, well, you know, nothing's happening in Cleveland. We went from being a Renaissance city to nothing's happening. Well, you know, we were just like other major cities in the country. We took the body blows of 9/11, and we took the body blow of a very, very serious recession. But guess what was happening the whole time? The whole time we were building, during those days, we were building an educational system, second to none. We were building a healthcare system, second to none. Our arts community is the largest between Chicago and New York. Look what was happening in Cleveland, Ohio. I can tell you my reasons why I really believe that we have started our next renaissance. There are three, but I don't have time for that, but I will tell you the third. And this is the one that excites me the most. I started my career writing ads in the best location in the nation. I worked at the Illuminating Company, and that whole story is the best story we ever had. 500-mile circle around Ohio. What it was a natural resources story. You had the iron ore up at Duluth, you had the coal in West Virginia, and it all met in Cleveland. And you had steel, and you had machine tools, you had all those things like that. And so it was a natural resources. But guess what's happened? That was 1970, 1972. It's now all about human resources. And Stuart, I got some research for you. I thought for a minute there you're getting a little discouraged about America and what's happening in America. When it comes to the human resources, it's all about talent, about attracting talent to your companies, to your organizations, to this city. And guess what? The research shows. Today's people, talented, creative people, care as much about the community they live in than that place they work. Oh my God. Do you know what that means? Our greatest asset is in What we have developed in our community